The beautiful city of Seoul, South Korea, where old Eastern tradition and modernity meet. Come join me as we explore this area together. This is Travel Step by Step. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Seoul, officially the Seoul Special City, is the capital and largest metropolis of South Korea. Seoul has a population of 9.7 million people and forms the heart of the Seoul capital area with the surrounding Incheon metropolis and Gyeonggi province. Considered to be a global city and rated as an alpha city by Globalization and World Cities Research Network, Seoul was the world's fourth largest metropolitan economy in 2014 after Tokyo, New York City, and Los Angeles. International visitors generally reach Seoul via Eriks from Incheon International Airport, notable for having been rated the best airport for 9 consecutive years by Airports Council International. In 2015, it was rated Asia's most livable city with the second highest quality of life globally by Arcadis, with the GDP per capita in Seoul being around $40,000. In 2017, the cost of living in Seoul was ranked the 6th highest globally. In 2020, Seoul's real estate market was ranked 3rd in the world for the price of apartments in the downtown center. Seoul was one of the host cities for the official tournament of the 2002 FIFA World Cup, which was co-hosted by South Korea and Japan. With major technology hubs centered in Gangnam and Digital Media City, the Seoul capital area is home to the headquarters of 15 Fortune Global 500 companies, including Samsung, LG, and Hyundai. Ranked 7th in the Global Power City Index and Global Financial Centers Index, the metropolis exerts a major influence in global affairs as one of the 5 leading hosts of global conferences. Seoul has hosted the 1986 Asian Games, 1988 Summer Olympics, and the 2010 G20 Seoul Summit. Now that we've gone over some background information of Seoul, South Korea, let's go ahead and go over the attractions of Seoul, South Korea, starting with Gyeongbokgung Palace. But let me first remind you that this is not a complete list of everything there is to do in Seoul, South Korea. These are only the things I would recommend for you to see if you have a short time to spend in Seoul. With that being said, let's go ahead and start with the first attraction. Gyeongbokgung Palace, or Gyeongbok Palace, was the main royal palace of the Joseon dynasty. Built in 1395, it is located in northern Seoul, South Korea. The largest of the 5 grand palaces built by the Joseon dynasty, Gyeongbokgung served as the home of kings of the Joseon dynasty, the kings' households, as well as the government of Joseon. The palace also houses the National Palace Museum and the National Folk Museum. The N Seoul Tower, officially the YTN Seoul Tower and commonly known as Namsan Tower or Seoul Tower, is a communication and observation tower located on Namsan Mountain in central Seoul, South Korea. The tower marks the second highest point in Seoul. There are 4 observation decks, as well as gift shops and 2 restaurants. Most of the city of Seoul can be seen from the top. Many visitors ride the Namsan cable car up Mount Namsan to walk to the tower. The tower is renowned as a national landmark and for its cityscape views. It attracts thousands of tourists and locals every year, especially during nighttime when the tower lights up. Photographers enjoy the panoramic view the tower offers. Each year, approximately 8.4 million people visit the N Seoul Tower, which is surrounded by many other attractions South Korea offers, including Namsan Park and Namsan-go Hanok Village. Visitors may go up the tower for a fee that differs for the following groups: children, elderly and teenagers, and adults. Rates differ for each package and group size. Bukchon Hanok Village is a Korean traditional village in Seoul with a long history located on the top of a hill between Gyeongbokgung Palace, Gyeongbokgung Palace, and Lotte World Shrine. The traditional village is composed of many alleys and is preserved to show a 600-year-old urban environment. So if you want to see a great village with great views where you can take pictures, this is a great place to visit. I highly recommend that you visit this place if you are in Seoul, South Korea. Lotte World is a major recreation complex in Seoul, South Korea. It consists of the world's largest indoor theme park, an outdoor amusement park called Magic Island, an artificial island inside a lake linked by monorail, shopping malls, a luxury hotel, a Korean folk museum, sports facilities, and movie theaters. Opened on July 12, 1989, Lotte World receives 7.3 million visitors each year. The National Museum of Korea is the flagship museum of Korean history and art in South Korea and is the cultural organization that represents Korea. Since its establishment in 1945, the museum has been committed to various studies and research activities in the fields of archaeology, history, and art, continuously developing a variety of exhibitions and education programs. It is also one of the most visited museums in the world and Asia and the most visited museum in South Korea. I would suggest that if you want to get a glimpse of Korean history and art, that you definitely make some time to visit this museum. There are some other areas in Seoul that other people may recommend, including the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, a space-age venue with a design center, or Myeongdong, which is an eclectic shopping and casual global dining area. Of course, I opted to go with the ones that I mentioned before because those are the types of attractions that have garnered the most visitors and also provide a glimpse of history of Korea as well as its culture. So now that we've gone over the attractions, let's get started with our VR tour. Are you ready? Alright, so welcome to Seoul, South Korea. We're looking at a satellite image of the city. And let's go ahead and zoom in and kind of get a glimpse of how massive this city is. As you can see, there are a lot of mountains in the area. And up above, it looks like there is a national park. But let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. So one thing you might notice about this city is it's not exactly 3D. It is flat, just like South Padre Island was. However, the only thing that is 3D, or that are 3D, are the mountains. And so we can still look at all of the area, see that it's a very large city. It expands to a great distance. But we do want to take a look at some of our attractions. So let's get started with looking at the attractions themselves. The first attraction is the N Seoul Tower. N Seoul Tower is on Mount Namsan, which is right here. You can kind of get an idea of how it looks from up in this mountain. This is the kind of view you would get, more or less, if you are on N Seoul Tower on Mount Namsan. Let's take a look at this little bubble here and kind of get a view of what it would be like from the bottom of this tower. So you can see it reaches into the sky. It's not as tall as the CN Tower, but it's already on top of a mountain. So considering that, the views must be spectacular from the very top. We can see that there are many people during this particular time of the day. Looks like it's sunset, and it must be very beautiful to see Seoul, Korea from up here during sunset or any time of the day. Let's see if we can get some other views. So it looks like this is a similar view. There is a area with heart locks. So people put locks, and I suppose it has to do with love, making a promise of love to somebody on these heart locks. And you can see that there are many of them, most likely thousands, going around this little area here. And you can again see that this is Seoul down from this mountain, Mount Namsan. So it looks like now we're on the tower itself, and there are people walking around, looking at the views, taking pictures. And what exactly they are seeing is this spectacular view of Seoul from the top of the mountain. You can see that Seoul is a huge city with many buildings of all types. And it reminds me of Tokyo quite a bit. And so this is Seoul, South Korea, from N Seoul Tower. Let's zoom out a little bit. This is Mount Namsan. You can take cable cars up to the top of this mountain and to reach the tower. All right, so next we want to take a look at a village called Bukchon Hanok Village. So Bukchon Hanok Village is in this area over here. So you can see the traditional way that Korean homes were built. You can see that they have entered this traditional Korean home, it appears, or building. And it looks just like an old Korean village, and that's exactly what it is. You can see how it is built in the old style. This is over 600-year-old area with alleys going through many different areas. And it's a big tourist destination, a great place to take pictures, appreciate the heritage of the country, and overall just have breathtaking views of beauty, of cultural beauty. You can see these are the alleys where you can go through and take pictures, like this man has been taking pictures. And this is a great place. I mean, I would definitely recommend you come here and to really appreciate what this area has to offer. Let's see if we can get one more glimpse of the area here. Looks like the same guy is taking all the pictures. But let's see if we can find at least one more area. Again, this is how the alleys look, how the buildings look. Very old, very traditional. All right, so this is a great picture right here. Okay, so here you can see a great area. Everything's built in a traditional way, very clean, very open to tourism, open to people of all types from everywhere, and just appreciating the magnificence of this. I mean, it's beautiful. Isn't this beautiful? I think it's great. I would definitely encourage everybody to come and visit this area and appreciate the beauty that it offers. You know, since this is not in 3D animation, it's very hard to pinpoint exactly where everything is. So I'm having to kind of play it by ear, so to speak, and try to find the areas of Bukchon village. I'm kind of just going across and trying to find the best areas possible. But you can see that this man has been taking most of the pictures. And again, it leads to areas. I cannot read Korean, so I don't know what it says, but these are restrooms. And over here, it has like some kind of zipper type of protective layer for going in and out of this area. Perhaps they want to keep the dust out, want to keep things clean, something like that. But interesting. Okay, So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Gyeongbokgung Palace. Wow. Now, if we take a look at this area, this is a huge area, Gyeongbokgung Palace. And you can see that there are different gates leading up to this palace. This is one of the gates in the area. Great place to take pictures. It looks like this is written in Chinese characters, which in Korea, historically that has been called Hanja. Before they invented Hangul, which is their current writing system, they used Hanja, or the Chinese letters, for their writing system. So it's on the front of this gate here. But there are different gates leading up to the palace. So let's see if we can kind of dive in and take a little closer look about what's going on in here. Let's see. So if we take a look at this is magnificent. People wearing hanbok. Hanbok are what these women are wearing. It's a traditional Korean dress worn on particular celebrations and holidays. And they also wear them in North Korea as well. It's a Korean peninsula cultural dress. And men have them too. They have their own style of hanbok. This, of course, is for the women. This is one of the gates here coming in. But this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful and stunning. Let's take a closer look at some of these other areas. This is a very beautiful area. Again, I like looking at all of this. It is very cultural, very clean. There are tours being given, I'm sure, in this area. And I definitely recommend coming to these grounds, taking a look at the traditional style of building things. Things are written in Hanja, or the Chinese characters. So I would definitely like to know what that says. But nonetheless, come here, take pictures, enjoy, and appreciate the culture and its beauty. Okay, and next let's go look at Lotte World, a big amusement park. If you have children, you're young at heart, I think you would find this area to be magnificent. Lotte World, the largest amusement park in the world. And you can see here it is, and there is an island right here with more things that's part of Lotte World. So let's go inside here and see how it looks. So you can see there are shows going on. This is a huge amusement park. This is inside the building, and there are shows going on for children. You can see there are children watching this show going on stage. It's called the Garden Stage, and they are looking at different characters, not Disney characters, but different characters of different types, and enjoying what they see on stage. So this is a great place for children to really have fun. And of course, it's not just for children. There are other things here, but children definitely appreciate things like shows and stuff like that. But you can see it looks almost like an indoor paradise. Castles, big buildings, windmills. It's like kind of reminds me of downtown Disney. And so this is very beautiful, a very nice area to look at indoors. So if it's cold, if it's hot, you get to appreciate the nice air conditioned temperature inside. So that's kind of a look of Lotte World, but why don't we take a look at what's on this island here? Now, look at this castle. Doesn't it remind you of the Magic Kingdom in Disney World and Disneyland? Well, it certainly does to me. It reminds me of that. But there's a lot more than just the castle. As you can see, it extends quite a ways, looking almost like European-style buildings. Sometimes it looks almost German to me. But they do have different things to see, different rides, restaurants, things like that. So that is Lotte World. Now, the last thing I want to take a look at is the National Museum of Korea. National Museum of Korea. So this is the National Museum of Korea, and it looks like it's a little bit away from the city, more or less. But let's take a closer look at the National Museum of Korea. So perhaps you can kind of see that there was a photo provided to you in the beginning of this tour. You may be able to recognize this structure, although the photo was taken from a distance. This is the entrance area of the museum, and you get to appreciate all types of art. And so this is a great place to see Korean art and things of Korean culture. In the distance, you can also see N Seoul Tower and Mount Namsan in the back. Let's see if we can see anything inside. So again, this is based on the picture that you saw earlier. You might be able to recognize it now. This is the museum. I don't think we'll be able to find any pictures of the interior of the museum, of any of the exhibits. But when I say that it is a great museum, it really is. I think that actually, I know that you should definitely make the time to come to this museum. And maybe we can get something over here on this side. Well, this is the interior of the museum. It looks very clean. You know, it does remind me of the Louvre, the interior. They do have a lot of different types of art, artifacts, things like that. So if you want to see a lot of art in a very clean environment, very modern, this is definitely the museum for you. All right, like I mentioned before, and like how I mentioned in all of my videos, is that this is not everything there is to see. Seoul is a very large city. It offers hundreds to perhaps even thousands of things to do. But I've only mentioned a few of the things that you can do if you spend a brief time in Seoul, South Korea. So thank you so much for watching this video. I am very glad you are here with me. This has been Travel Step by Step. Please like and subscribe. So the next city that we are going to do, actually it's not a city, but it'll be different now. We're going to look at a focus tour into Lake Louise, Canada. So keep an eye out for that. I will be working on it. It should be a little bit of a shorter video, but with enough content for you to want to make the trip up to Lake Louise, Canada. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or a great time wherever you are in the world.